Now that we have successfully installed our Git manager on our system and we can run it anywhere on our terminal regardless of which directory we have or which directory we're at, in this video we're just going to cover how you get to generate an SSH key using the SSH key command. So you're going to start the application, right? It's just Git manager, and then that's where it starts, and then it's just gonna introduce you and then tells you already know that. Cool. So what we're gonna do there is just we wanna use the SSH command. We're not gonna start with the user. That comes after we have configured everything. So in this case we're just gonna start with SSH. So I'm just gonna type SSH, and then it's gonna generate an SSH, and then you have an option or different options as to which method you want to use. I mostly prefer the first option, ED25519, but you can also use RSA, but at least 2048 bits is recommended, though the minimum is 1024. But it goes by preference, but I prefer the first algorithm, so I'm going to use option number 1. Cool. And then it's generate my public and private key pair, right? And then this is what is going to be saved by default, but I don't want you to save it like that. So basically let's just say that we are doing it for my GitHub, and then I'm gonna give it my YouTube name. So I'm just gonna say home, and then Rex, and then from there inside the directory .ssh, and then I'm gonna give this file morexd coda, right? And then I'm gonna press enter, and then I'm gonna enter my password. Once I'm done, I'm gonna confirm the password, and I have successfully created my SSH. And the next step will be to add my SSH to my Git Hub, right? So the way to do that, I'm just gonna say view SSH, and then I'm just going to provide the name of that SSH. Since I'm going to be having multiple SSH, I have to give them different names, so that whenever I want to view different SSH key, I just provide the name and get an SSH key, right? So in this case, I'm just going to provide Morex the coda, and that's my SSH key. So I'm going to copy this, Control Shift V for those who Control Shift C for those who might want a short command for copying via terminal. And then I'm gonna go to my GitHub, right? So I have my first GitHub, and then the other one I have my GitLab. So this is the two accounts I'm gonna be using, and I'm not gonna be using my school account since it has confidential information. So I'm gonna go to the SSH password or SSH section, and then I'm gonna add new SSH. It's gonna load. There we go. And then I'm gonna paste my SSH there, and I've added. Should have given it a name, but it's cool. That's my SSH, right? And I've added it. Cool. That is that. And then I'm done. So I've done generating SSH and I've added. Now one last step to do now is to configure your SSH. So I'm gonna use the command config SSH to configure my SSH. So it's config SSH. Cool. The host name, since this is for my GitHub, I'm gonna say GitHub. It's github.com. That's where I'm hosting my remote repository, and then the username for that one is Morendwa Rachidi. That's the username for your Git, and then the SSH file name, the one you just created before, right? That's Morex the coda, right? And then I have successfully configured my GitHub.